Sister Alex sees her daughter Olivia and she is calling her name and she's not answering. Obadiah is trying to stop her and says, "That's not your child anymore. She is a child of the Raku." She keeps calling Olivia's name. She's looking over a little bit, but she's not trying to answer her mother. The highest gets frustrated and he says, "Obadiah, just take them away." And of course, he does what the highest says, tells them to about face and to walk out. She is so upset, and I got a funny feeling about this guy. I'm going to share it a little bit later, so stay tuned. But Alex is so frustrated, Ruth is told to take her out, and Ruth tells her to just chill. This episode is called Tu fin de chill mal. And the description reads, Ruth looks for a way to get the brainwashed children away from their dangerous new headmaster, Obadiah, and Daikon interferes in River's attempts to get back into the highest's good graces. So yes, we're going to find out exactly what the title means and how it's broken down. So where do we leave off? We leave off where we see that Ruth is now trying to devise a plan to get Callie back and to get the children away from this headmaster Obadiah. She's looking on into the playground and wondering what exactly they are doing. Meanwhile, Obadiah sees that she is looking at the children and walks up on Ruth, grabs Ruth and turns her around to have a conversation. And of course, he's asking, what is she doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm just looking to see the kids and looking to see how things are done here. And you're the headmaster, you're the teacher. I'm the headmaster, he says, right? And he's looking at her with all the confidence in the world. He's like, I know who you are as well. I know you are the wife to be, right? So she's like, oh, you know more about me than I know about you, right? There's a funny thing about this guy, Obadiah, that has everything to do with what the highest told us a long time ago. But he is threatening her and says, listen, what if I tell the highest that you were over here looking on to where the children are and everything else like that? And she's like, well, whatever. He's like, whatever. And he seems very confident, and they're pretty much sizing each other up at this point. But he is very confident that he has something over the highest. And yeah, it's going to be very hard for Ruth to get Callie and the rest of the children away from this guy. And he's going to make sure of it. Again, stick around. I'm going to tell you exactly what I believe or who I believe this guy is. But Ruth has her work cut out for her when it comes down to Obadiah. This guy is, man, I'm going to tell you, stay tuned. I'm going to let you know. But he is in total control of these children. We're going to find out how and what he is doing to brainwash them. Meanwhile, back in the highest's trailer, he is so frustrated about this entire situation. So frustrated that his men turned on him, that people have died, that people have been taken out, that the FBI is still around. He's under so much pressure. He's trying to deal with it. Of course, Daikon, he's like, I'm here for you. I'm here to do whatever you need. I will protect you. He's trying to reassure him, but he is so frustrated that he asked Daikon to get the magic. Now, your boy, the highest, the lowest, he hasn't used the magic in a long time. But yes, Daikon is like, whatever you want, I will make it for you. So Daikon is getting the magic ready. And yes, the highest, he looks like he is fiending and needs to get a little fix in order to help him deal with this pressure. There's a lot of pressure on the highest. So he needs a little fix. And Daikon is getting it ready for the highest. But you know what happens? He's going to get real erratic. Meanwhile, back at the police station, we see Aaron run up in the police station. Like, what is going on? What happened? Where's my wife? And, Desiree's like, hey, stand back, stand back. Why? Because they are bringing in the new cartel character, Keys. She's yelling and screaming and cursing and all of this and that. Desiree's put her in solitary confinement. We don't need her around everybody else. She's like, why? You think I'm going to do something? She's like, get her out of here. Put her in solitary confinement. We don't want her around everybody else, right? So there's a lot of yelling and screaming going on. Keys is frustrated, yelling as well. And your boy Aaron is shook. He's like, well, what's that about? Who the heck is that? He's like, they're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's like, listen, what's going on with my wife? Y'all said y'all was going to give me some answers. What's happening? I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs. So we went up there and there was an attack going on, and it was a whole lot of, bullets going back and forth. And Cal doesn't really want to explain what happened, but Desiree, she says, hey, listen, we shooting back, people shooting at us, it's dark, we don't know who's the enemy or who's trying to escape. So she basically says that they popped Laura and they found her, but she has been hit by a stray bullet. Of course, your boy Aaron gets upset. He tries to get at Desiree. Cal is like, you better step back or I'm going to charge you for trying to assault a federal agent, right? This is crazy, man. Laura got hit in the crossfires and now they're getting mad at your boy Aaron. Oh, man, remember, he is the son of a senator. So something is going to happen here. He's going to do something to retaliate against Desiree, Cal, and the FBI for taking out Laura and allowing this to happen when Laura got hit. So he's so frustrated, he just says, burn in hell. I hope you both burn in hell. Meanwhile, back on the campus, we see a whole lot of unalived Raku bodies. Daikon walks out from this threesome and he's like, we cannot make any more mistakes. Mistakes can't happen anymore. What do you say? Yes, Daikon. Say it with me. Yes, Daikon. He's trying to get them to say yes, Daikon. Again, enthusiasm is down, morale is down. And he's like, listen, get these bodies out of here. And he's just trying to get them to get back to normal where they are listening to his commands. So he's telling them, get rid of all these bodies. The highest doesn't need to see it. He's very frustrated right now. Remember, he just gave him the magic. And this guy right here, Brother Samuel, what's wrong? Oh, I can't stand the smell of blood. He's like, are you serious? You're supposed to be a soldier, man. What is going on? What is wrong with you, man? Like, nah, I can't do it, man. I think I'm going to throw up. Oh, my God. Daikon, he doesn't like weakness, right? So he's like, what are you doing here? How did you even get in this position as a soldier if you can't stand it? But who steps up? Peter steps up and says, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. So, of course, Daikon got questions. Listen, where have you been? What were you doing? Oh, I was hiding. Why were you hiding? I was in the woods. I know I messed up with the highest and I want to get back in his good graces. I couldn't stand being away. He said, so what did you do? What were you doing? He said, well, I found a way to get back in the good graces by taking out that traitor. So he's the one that shot Bridget. So he's like, oh, you're the one? And Daikon has praised him. This is a real soldier. This is definitely a real soldier. You need to, right? Take examples from him. He says, get these bodies out of here. And Brother Samuel's, get out my face. You disgust me, right? So here we are. We see all these unalive bodies, all the wounded. Some of them are wounded. Most of them are gone. And Daikon's, listen, I need for everybody to step up at this time. So your boy Scumbag Manny says, I'll step up. I can do that. Manny, he's definitely a flip-flop. He was with the Resistance and the Traitors before. Now he's back with the Raku. Here we are with Zane, and she calls over River with his I'm important hands, right? I'm in a meeting hands. You can't talk to me. She's like, River, can you come over here? Oh, you need help, sister? You know, yes, the front. You need help, sister? Yes. So they're like, listen, man, we almost got away. And they are just so frustrated because they're talking about they were tasting freedom, right? And he asks about Joan, and she has concerns because Elder Mother Marva put dirt on her wound, and she thinks it's infected. She's trying to encourage River to keep the faith, and the more he believes, they are going to get away. But they're very concerned about Joan, and they were just talking about how they missed the all-beef patty special sauce with a sesame seed bun and tater tots, and they could taste it, and they were just really ready for that freedom, but they can't believe that they're back on campus. But Zane is trying to encourage them. She's going to let them know what happens with Joan, but they are really, and this could have been it. We could have been free, but we're going to get free. We're going to get free. Here we are with Ruth, and she's going to see the highest. She rolls up on Peter. He's like, you here to see the highest? She's like, yeah, I'm here to see the highest, of course. He's like, what happened to those bodies? Oh, we put them up on the north side, on the back side of the campus. Orders by Daikon. Daikon doesn't want the highest to see those bodies. So she's like, oh, I need to talk to the highest. She's like, are you authorized? He's like, Brother Peter, get out the way. Seriously, like, you don't know who she is. She is talking about, is she authorized? So the highest comes out. He's like, oh, Ruth, I was just thinking about you. He's like, oh, really? Really? What a coincidence, right? Looking at Peter like, you're an ass. Get out of the way. She's like, I wanted to talk to you. And he's like, Obadiah told me that you were at the playground. why were you there? She was like, she thinks real fast on her feet. I was just trying to see what he did with the children because they're different. I wanted to see the process and how he does it and how he has them obedient now. Before they weren't obedient, now they are obedient. He's like, oh, let me show you something. So they leave and Peter is still at the door guarding nothing because nobody's inside. So the highest brings Ruth to the punishment trailer where we see the scumbag crew. We see Lewis and we see George and they're tied up. And there's a video of the highest playing and it's just him talking and say, believe in me, believe in the Raku and everything else like that, right? And he's like, how you doing? He's always asking the prisoners, how you doing? Well, I'm frustrated, you heard him. George wants to get out. Lewis wants to get out. He's like, why haven't you tortured us? Like, what is this all about? And he's, Lewis is like, well, why are we in chains and Ruth is not locked up with us? He's like, listen, we have a new plan here. This is a whole new setup. Instead of torturing you and taking you out like you deserve, we're going to reprogram you. Ruth doesn't need reprogramming, right? So he's showing Ruth how they're reprogramming the soldiers the same way they reprogram the children. So here he is with this CD of this opera, right? Which is the title of this episode. And it's Mozart Don Giovanni, right? So he's playing this operatic orchestral piece and your boy Lewis is going crazy like, no, stop it. And the highest is explaining that this is a story about how the traitors and all these people are going to be dragged into hell and everything else like that. Your boy Lewis is screaming at the top of his lungs. Oh, he doesn't want to be brainwashed. And the highest is really enjoying it all. He's playing it throughout the campus. Meanwhile, in the infirmary, we see Zane tending to Joan. And here comes Elder Mother Marva. Like, what the hell is that? I can't stand it. What is that? And Zane is like, what are you talking about? Huh? What are you talking? Are you talking about the music? And the other mother's like, cause I'm talking about the music. What do you think I'm talking about? Yeah. So she's like, you can't hear that? It's so loud. And she's like, no, I barely hear anything, Elder Mother Marva. Alex doesn't hear anything either. Look. She's like, what are you talking about? I could hear it loud and clear. It's just so loud and noisy and all of this and that. And Alex is over there. Everybody can barely hear it. So Zane says, you know what, maybe you might be a little stressed. And when you're a little stressed or whatever, your ears are sensitive to noises and sounds and stuff like that. You haven't gotten any rest. You should get some rest. She's like, oh, you can't believe everything you read, but I do remember learning that in my studies as a nurse. You don't remember that. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember none of that. What are you talking about? She's like, well, I'd rather stay here and just die. And Zane is like, why don't you get some rest? You've been stressed out. You haven't gotten any rest. She's like, listen, I'll call you. She's like, are you sure? Elder Mother's so funny. Are you sure? She's like, yeah, we'll call you if anybody dies or whatever, right? So again, she's worried about Joan because putting dirt on her wound definitely is going to infect her and she is in and out. Meanwhile, River rolls up on Peter and Peter's like, I can't be caught talking to you. Well, why? Last time you escaped from the punishment trail and just left me there. He's like, no, I didn't. You'd away from me with your little trickery, witchery, whatever. And River says the most disgusting thing. He's like, just because I gave you head, that's not witchery. That's not trickery, right? I was like, I want to throw up, right? So Peter's like, get away from me. He's like, well, I'll just keep doing my little tricks or whatever, right? So River's playing around with him. Here comes Daikon. What's going on here, right? What is happening here? Oh, nothing. And Peter's like, River was trying to force his way into the highest's trailer. It was like, what? Like, no, he wasn't. He's like, are you serious? He's like, what are you? No, right? So Peter walks away and Daikon's like, really? And River's like, come on, man. He has a strap. He has a gun. What would I look like forcing myself in? He's like, listen, man, we're on high alert with the highest, right? He was almost taken out. And River's just like saying that he was trying to help the wounded. And your boy Scumbag Manny is like, you believe him. He's like, listen, the highest is so powerful, he attracts parasites. And we got to get rid of these parasites and burn them, right? So, of course, Daikon doesn't like River. He's like, get up out of here, right? So here we are, still playing this opera. And it's playing throughout the whole campus. And they are frustrated. And your boy, the highest, is telling the story. He's like, this is the good part. This is the part where he invites him to dinner and he still doesn't tell the truth. And Rufus like, highest, I need to talk to you for a second. He's like, what? He's like, this is the best part. And she's like, listen, you're wounded, and those people who fought for you, they don't deserve this. These guys, they deserve this, but the whole campus doesn't deserve it. You're wounded and everything. They don't deserve it. They fight for you. They love you. He's like, really? He's like, okay, well, take me to them. And before they leave, she's like, why don't you put video back on just to keep their minds going, right? She's like, yes, 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 yes. So they leave. And George and Lewis, they are so pissed off. Lewis is like, man, I'm going to kill that bitch when I get out of here, right? George is like, yeah, we going to get her, man. We going to take her out, man, because they feel like she should be in there with him because it was her plan, right? But now they got caught up. Here we are with Keys in the prison, back at the police station, and they roll up on Keys and like, all right, what's your name? All of this and that. She's like, oh, you got out of solitary confinement. And she's like, I ate the guard. You know what I'm saying? Got off on good behavior. Like, she's like a little mini Lilo to me, right? So they're like, listen, why don't you tell us what's going on, who you are, who your peoples are? And she's like, I can't really think. I'm hungry. I need some food. We can have lunch and then we can talk over lunch and you can tell us exactly who you are. She's like, I want some New York steak, really raw, whatever. And you guys can eat something, she said in Spanish, right? And Cal is like, huh? He's like, yo, who's your man? It's like, tell your man what this is about. Like, Desiree understands what she's saying, but Cal, he don't know nothing, right? She's like, yo, bring back my steak. Bring back my steak. Like, I like Keys, man. Like, she's going to be funny. She's going to be the new Lilo, just in a female type of way. You know what I mean? So, of course, Cal is frustrated at this whole situation. Cal wants to get out of there. Cal wants to get with Desiree. Cal wants to get out there. They are frustrated. They are both frustrated because they're not getting anywhere. And he's like, yo, man, what do we do? Like, we just need to run up in there. And she's like, no, we don't need to do that. That's going to be crazy. We already had a lot of casualties. This is going to set off a lot of things. I'm going to go in there and go undercover. He's like, what? No, I forbid it. No, 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 no. So Cal doesn't want her to go in there. So here we are in the back of the campus. We got all of these bodies laid out, man. They are gone. And, the highest is kind of like disgusted, right? She's like, you okay? Like, yeah. Why did you bring me here? Well, I wanted to, show you the wounded and show you all this and that, right? So they're up there and, she's just saying all the right things. He's like, how do you know how to say all the right things? Maybe because I love you, you do. Ruth is just playing a role, playing in the highest's hands. And here comes one of the sisters. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to roll up on you, highest, but, I saw online that you heal people and one of my sisters, needs healing. Can you heal her, please? Can you heal her, right? So Ruth is like, the highest doesn't have time for all of this and that, right? So he looks at her like, how dare you? I will tell you, I'm the highest. I will tell you when I have time. So she's like, can you heal her? He's like, yes. So she's like, can I bring you to her? He's like, no, bring her to the pavilion and we'll do it there. So he looks at her like, don't ever get it between me and my people, right? So look, Ruth, you better back down, man. You don't overstep your boundaries. You know what it is. He's still the highest. So they get to the outside perimeter of the campus and they talk to Coolidge. Coolidge is like, nothing's going on. And Cal is like, listen, man, I don't want you to go in there. You're a beautiful woman and he might take advantage of you. And she's like, listen, I'll be okay. Don't worry about it. I'm going in there undercover, per se, right? With her badge out and everything. Makes no sense, right? So here we go. She walks away. Cal makes a phone call and says, listen, I need y'all to do something for me, right? All right, we're going to get to that later. So here we are. They bring the body of the sister to the pavilion because, Highest wants to make it a display. Daikon's like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are you guys doing there? She wants him to resurrect this person. Like, he can't do that. If he doesn't do it, he's just going to lose all his, he's already frustrated. He's going to go crazy. Like, if he can't resurrect this lady, he's going to go nuts. She's like, now you tell me that? She's like, what do I do? He's like, listen, it's your problem. You fix it. Like, you fix it. You caused it. You fixed it, right? And Ruth is just like, dang, she don't know what to do. But she's going to come up with something, right? Ruth always comes up with something. But Daikon is so pissed off because not only will the highest go crazy, but he's going to lose his reputation, right? They're going to look at him like he's a fraud if this doesn't happen. So they are bringing him over, right, from his trailer. They put him in the chariot and bring him over like maybe 10 steps, like so crazy. Like, he'd have just walked over there, right? You know what I'm saying? No, he had to be brought in because this is a special ceremony of the resurrection of one of the wounded, right? So he goes over and Ruth thinks quick and she runs and hugs him, says, I love you, highest. I love you, highest, right? Just to get close to him, to let him know, hey, listen, you don't have to do this, man. This lady was dead before they brought her over. They're trying to make you look bad, man. They're trying to make you look stupid, right? So he's like, you don't think I could do this, right? You don't think I could do this. Like, he believes in himself that he could do it. He's like, yo, just like, he kind of shoves her away, like, go for me. Like, wait, let me do my thing. So here he goes. In the name of the Raku, I'm going to resurrect this wounded. She doesn't deserve to be wounded. You fought for us and she stood for us and she took up arms and now she is wounded. So I'm going to heal her. And with the power of the Raku, I'm going to heal you. You're going to get up. And she's yelling. Like, I was like, wait a minute. Is this for real? Like, is she going to be healed? But she's like, ah, like she screamed for a second. He's like, in the name of the Raku, you are healed. Get up, child. Get up. And she don't get up. Just get up. In the name, he keeps repeating himself, of the Raku. And then he's like, wait, hold up. What is that sound? What? And Daikon's like, oh man, that sounds like a helicopter. What's going on, right? So there's a helicopter sound coming through. He's like, this is it. It's time for all of us to go to the Raku, right? So he's thinking that, hey, the FBI, the government is coming, and this is it, and it's over. And because your little trick didn't work, just in time, right? Saved by the bell. So Desiree is walking up to the campus herself because she's going to go in there undercover or go in there and give herself up. Turn around, she hears the helicopter, and she's like, what the hell, right? So she calls it in and says, what's going on here? What's happening? Who called this in? Oh, I called it in. Why did you call it in? What's going on? What is wrong with you? Oh, just want to ensure your safety. It's like, you didn't ensure my safety. F my safety. I think you just put these children at freaking in harm's way. Like, you're going to get them taken out. So look at Elda Madamavis. He's like, oh, it's a brand new day. It's a wonderful day. We're all going to go to the Raku. And they're getting all the Kool-Aid ready to give to the kids and to give to everybody on the campus. And she's like, hurry up, take it to the people. And she is so happy. Zane is in there like, I don't know what's going on, but, what's happening? Oh, yeah. He's just listening to Elder Mother Marva rant and keep going. Zane is turning out to be a beautiful young lady. Right? So anyway, your girl is like, yes, we can't wait because I saved the Kool-Aid and now it's time to go to the Raku. What a great day. And I have the chalice. I have the highest's cup. He's gonna be so happy that I put this together. And she's like, are you sure? You can take care of this right here. You can take the cup to the highest. And she is so proud. This is the day that they've been waiting for them to go to the Raku. And Zane is like, oh my God, this is insane. You already know. So we go to the pavilion and he's like, yes, children, it is time for all of us to go to the Raku. And Cal is over there and she has the cup to her mouth. She's about to drink it. Where's the other kids? So why is she the only one drinking it? Right? So he's like, yes, it is time, family. Time for the Raku. And Ruth is like, Cal, screaming her name. Cal, like that. She says, my name is Ruby. She is so brainwashed, family. It is crazy. And she's about to drink this Kool-Aid. And Ruth is just standing there. She doesn't know what to do. Like my name is Ruby. Like my name is not Cal. I'm like, crazy. The baby's lost. Cal is lost. There's no more Cal. It's Ruby right now. And your girl Ruth looks so upset. And your man, the lowest, is like, yes, it's time for us to go. Bring me the cup. And here comes Elda Madamava with the golden cup that is going to take him to the Raku. Why doesn't Daikon have one? Like, I don't understand. Why doesn't everybody have a cup? They should all be drinking and going together. So she hands him the golden chalice, the cup. And he's like, cheers. It's time to go to the Raku. You're ready? Let's do it together. I got nothing but love for you, baby. And he's about to drink it. And that is the end of the episode, family. Oh, yeah, almost forgot. Remember when Ruth and the highest were up on the little hill where all the dead people were? And he said, yeah, my relationship with Obadiah is complicated. I believe, mark my words, that he is the one that molested the highest when he was young. And he's the old man with the hotel that is taking the children, right? You remember from last season, yeah, he's the one. What will happen next? We shall see in the next episode of Tyler Perry's Ruthless.